Welcome geometry students to the homework help video. Here's the assignment right here in front of you. So let's go ahead and take a look at these problems and help you on the ones that you're struggling with. Here we go. Let's start off first of all with numbers 11 through 16. The directions say for 11 through 16, find the length of the hypotenuse. Find the length of the hypotenuse. Okay, so let's start with number 11 right here. And number 11 reads as follows. It is a 30, 60, 90 triangle, a 30, 60, 90 triangle, so we are allowed to use these three formulas over here. Okay, so we're allowed to use those three formulas as long as we have a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So let me get my pen up and running here, and here we go. The first thing you do is you label your three sides. This is the right angle, so we know this side over here is the hypotenuse. And this is the smaller angle, 30, so we know 3 is your shorter leg. 60 is the bigger angle when you compare it to 30, so go straight across over here. And this is your longer leg. So there, I've labeled all my sides. Now, the best way to find the hypotenuse is to take the shorter leg and multiply it by 2. Take the shorter leg and multiply it by 2. Do you see that okay? Hypotenuse equals 2 times the shorter leg. Well, my shorter leg is 3, so 2 times 3. My hypotenuse has a length of 6. There we go, a length of 6. Moving on, let's take a look at number 12. All right, number 12. Okay, let's once again label our sides. So first of all, I'm going to start with my right angle and go straight across. So this is my hypotenuse. And then here's my 30 and my 60. Here's 60, so go straight across. This is my longer leg. Here's 30, go straight across. This is my shorter leg. Now, in order to find the hypotenuse, this is the best formula to use. 2 times the shorter leg. 2 times the shorter leg. So hypotenuse equals 2 times the shorter leg, and my shorter leg is 8. So my hypotenuse would equal 2 times 8, which is 16. Now remember, you can only use these formulas right here when you're dealing with a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Okay, so please keep that in mind. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at number 13. And again, on all of these, 11 through 16, we're looking for the hypotenuse, okay? Now this one will be a little tougher because, well, you'll see why in just a second here. Okay, here's the right angle. Go straight across, so this is your hypotenuse right here. Now go to your longer side, or go to your bigger angle, 60, go right across, so this is your longer leg. Here's 30, go straight across, this is your shorter leg. Now in order to find the hypotenuse, you need to know the shorter leg. And we don't know the shorter leg, okay? But I can use this form. Let me say it again. In order to find the hypotenuse, you need to know the shorter leg. And we don't know the shorter leg. We know the longer leg right here. So we're going to have to start off using this formula here to first find the shorter leg, and then we can find the hypotenuse. So here we go. Longer leg equals square root of 3 times shorter leg. Now for my longer leg right here, LL, I'm going to substitute 11 square root of 3. So 11 square root of 3 equals square root of 3 shorter leg. Does everybody see what I did? Let's review. I want to find the hypotenuse, but the only way to find the hypotenuse is if I know the shorter leg. So I'm first going to have to find the shorter leg. Now, I'm going to use this formula here to help me find the shorter leg. Well, Mr. Earhart, why didn't you use this formula here? Because I don't know the hypotenuse. If I wanted to use this formula here, I would have to know the hypotenuse, and I don't know the hypotenuse. So I'm going to use this formula here, and where the longer leg is, I'm going to substitute 11 square root of 3. Now let's divide both sides by square root of 3 because you want to get SL by itself. So we divide one side by the square root of 3, divide the other side, and we're left with 11 equals shorter leg. There, we know the shorter leg. Now look right up here, please. How do you always find the hypotenuse? 2 times the shorter leg. 2 times the shorter leg. And what is the shorter leg? It's 11. 2 times 11 is 22. So there's your answer. Your hypotenuse, x, equals 22. Okay? And again, I go fast on purpose because you can always back a video up, but you can't speed it up. And so I'm going fast, but feel free to back the video up and watch again if you need to. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look now at number 14. All right, first of all, here's my right angle, so this would be my hypotenuse. This is 30, this will be my shorter leg. This is 60, this will be my longer leg. Now look what you know. You know the shorter leg. How do you always find the hypotenuse when you have a 30, 60, 90 triangle? Well, you take 2 times the shorter leg. The hypotenuse will always be 2 times the shorter leg. The shorter leg is 9, so then the hypotenuse x has to equal 18. 2 times 9 is 18. All right, let's continue on. All right, number 15. Here we go. This is your right angle right here, so go straight across. This is your hypotenuse. This is your 30, so go straight across, shorter leg. This is 60, go straight across. This is your longer leg. Okay, once again, a very easy problem, because whenever you know the shorter leg, it's really easy to find the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always twice as big as the shorter leg. So your shorter leg is 1, so 1 times 2 equals 2. So there's the length of your hypotenuse. X equals 2. Okay, really pretty simple. Look, if you know the shorter side, multiply it by 2 and you'll have the length of the hypotenuse. Let me say this though, this only works for a 30, 60, 90 triangle, okay? All right, last one. Here's my 90 degrees, so go straight across, and that's going to give you your hypotenuse. Here's 30 right here, so go straight across to this side, and that'll be your shorter leg. And then, of course, your last side here has to be your longer leg. And now, I wish I knew the length of the shorter side, but I don't. So this is going to be one of the hard ones. Before I find the hypotenuse, I'm first going to have to find the shorter leg. Then once I know the shorter leg, I multiply it by what? By 2, and then I'll know the hypotenuse, okay? So here we go. I'm going to use this formula right here to find the shorter leg. So longer leg equals square root of 3 times shorter leg. Now for longer leg, I'm going to put 12 square root of 3. And for shorter leg, I'm just going to leave that SL. Now we're solving for SL, so let's divide both sides by square root of 3 to get rid of this square root of 3 right here, okay? Well, these cancel out, and you're left with 12 equals shorter leg. Now that I know the shorter leg, the hypotenuse always equals twice the shorter leg. So if my shorter leg is 12, then my hypotenuse x must equal 24. Okay? Must equal 24. Okay, let's move on to numbers 17 through 22. Numbers 17 through 22. And those directions read as follows. You can follow along in your book if you want to. Find the length of the longer leg. Find the length of the longer leg. Write your answer in radical form. Okay, students, let's take a look at number 17. The directions again say to find the length of the longer leg. So let's label all of our sides very quickly. Here's your right angle, so go straight across. This is your hypotenuse. Here's 30, go straight across. This is your shorter leg. And then, of course, 60, here's your longer leg. Now, how do you find the longer leg? Well, look at this. You always take the shorter leg and multiply it by square root of 3. Look, guys, it's right here in front of you, right here. I'm circling it over and over. Longer leg equals shorter leg times square root of 3. Shorter leg times square root of 3. Shorter leg times square root of 3. So if you're looking for the longer leg, take your shorter leg, which is 4, and multiply it by square root of 3. So 4 times square root of 3 equals your longer leg. That's it. Okay, so if you're looking for the longer leg, take the shorter leg and multiply it by the square root of 3. Okay, not too difficult. That's why these formulas are really, really helpful. And again, these formulas only work when you're dealing with the 30, 60, 90 triangle. Okay, all right, continuing on, let's go ahead and label our sides here. First of all, this will be my hypotenuse. This is 30, so this is my shorter leg. This is 60, go straight across. This is your longer leg. Okay, here we go again. How do you find the longer leg? You take your shorter leg and you multiply it by the square root of 3. So here's my shorter leg, 6. I'm going to multiply it by the square root of 3. And now I know what x equals, or my longer leg, whatever you want to call it. Okay? All right, moving on. I'm going pretty fast, but you guys can back this up and watch it again whenever you need to, okay? All right, let's take a look at number 19. All right, let's see what they give us here. All right, go straight across. Here's your 90-degree angle. Go straight across. This is your hypotenuse. This is 30. Go straight across. This is your shorter leg. Here's 60. Go straight across. This is your longer leg. Okay, anytime you're trying to find the longer leg, you take the shorter leg and you multiply it by the square root of 3. So here's your shorter leg, 13. We're going to multiply it by the square root of 3. And as soon as we do that, we now know the length of the longer leg, x, 13 square root of 3. Okay, not too bad. Let me grab a drink here and keep right on going. All right, number 20. Okay, now they're giving us a little harder. It's about time. Here's the right angle. Go straight across. This is your hypotenuse. Actually, I'm wrong. It's still an easy one. I stand corrected. This is 30 degrees. Go straight across. This is your shorter leg. This is 60. Go straight across. This is your longer leg. All right, so here we go. Anytime you want to find the longer leg, you take the shorter leg and you multiply it by the square root of 3. So here's your shorter leg, 20. Go ahead and multiply that by the square root of 3, and you will have the length of your longer leg. Now remember, these formulas only work right here. These three formulas only work when you're dealing with a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Okay, 30, 60, 90 triangle. And don't forget, the formulas are different for a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Those formulas, quickly reviewing, would be leg equals leg equals hypotenuse divided by the square root of 2, and hypotenuse equals square root of 2 times the leg. Okay, and so those are the three formulas you would use for a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Okay, all right, these formulas here are for 30, 60, 90 triangles, and that's what we have on all of these. Okay, here we go. Here's your 90 degrees. Go straight across. That's your hypotenuse. Here's 30. Go straight across. Here's your shorter leg. Here's 60. Go straight across. Here's your longer leg. Okay, in numbers 17 through 22, we're trying to find the longer leg, and you always take the shorter leg and multiply it by square root of 3. Here's your shorter leg, 16. So we're going to multiply that by the square root of 3, and now we have our longer leg, x, 16 square root of 3. All right, so these are really redundant, but you know what? As far as I'm concerned, you cannot practice this stuff too much. The more you practice, the more you're going to understand this, okay? All right, here we go. Now, here's 90 degrees. Go straight across. That would be your hypotenuse. Here's 30. Go straight across. This is your shorter leg. And then here's 60. Go straight across, and this is your longer leg. Now, anytime you're looking to find the longer leg, you always multiply the shorter leg by the square root of 3. Always. So here's my shorter leg, 2 square root of 3, and I'm going to multiply that by square root of 3. Now this really should not freak you out. It's pretty easy. I mean, we've multiplied radicals times radicals before. First of all, you multiply outside numbers times outside numbers, and then inside numbers times inside numbers. So there's no number on the outside of the square root of 3, but I can put a 1 there. It's totally fine. So outside number 2 times outside number 1 would be 2. And inside number 3 times inside number 3 would be 9. So what I have is 2 times the square root of 9. But hold it, I know the square root of 9. Type that into your calculator if you need to. You'll get a 3 out. So 2 times the square root of 9 is the exact same thing as 2 times 3, because the square root of 9 is 3, and 2 times 3 is 6. So there you go. You found the length of the longer leg by simply taking the shorter leg and multiplying it by the square root of 3. Now remember, these formulas only work on 30, 60, and 90 triangles. I'm going to keep saying that the whole video. Okay, let's take a look now at numbers 23 through 28. Find the length of the shorter leg, round your answer to the nearest tenth or to one decimal place. So here we go. Let's find the length of the shorter legs. Let's start off with number 23. All right, here we go. Let's label our sides. Here's your right angle, go straight across, this is your hypotenuse. Here's 30, go straight across, shorter leg. And here's 60, go straight across, longer leg. Okay, we're trying to find the shorter leg. And it looks like to me whenever I want to find the shorter leg, it's dealing with the hypotenuse. Okay, do you see that okay? So the only way here, I'm going to be able to find, well, I take that back. The only formula that has shorter leg all by itself, like SL equals, is this one right here. But look what you have to have. The shorter leg equals the hypotenuse divided by 2, right? Hypotenuse divided by 2. And we don't know the hypotenuse. What we do know is the longer leg, correct? We know the longer leg. So let's use this formula right here. Watch carefully how I do this. Longer leg equals square root of 3 times shorter leg. Now we know what the longer leg is 4. So where LL is, I'm going to put 4 equals square root of 3 SL. Now divide both sides by square root of 3. These cancel. And I'm left with 4 divided by the square root of 3. Now the directions said to type that into your calculator. This is a good chance for you to get used to doing that. And if you type into your calculator correctly, 4 divided by second square root of 3, you're going to get 2.309, 2.309,401,077, and of course that rounds correctly to 2.3. That would equal X, which is your shorter leg. Okay? All right, let's continue on. So whenever you have the longer leg, whenever you know the length of the longer leg and you're trying to find the shorter leg, use this formula right here and it will work every time. Okay? All right, let's take a look at number 24. Number 24. Okay, here we go. Here's my right angle, go straight across, and this will be my hypotenuse. 30 straight across, here's my shorter leg. 60 straight across, here's my longer leg. Now you do not know the hypotenuse. All that you know is the longer leg, and you're trying to find the shorter leg. So you want to use a formula that has LL and SL. So here it is right here. So LL equals square root of 3 SL. I'm going to try something real quick that might be handy here. Hold on a second. Good, I can do that. Okay. All right. Now, let's continue on. So where the longer leg is, I'm going to put 7. And for the shorter leg, I'm just going to leave that SL. And now I'm going to divide both sides by the square root of 3. Square root of 3. Okay. These cancel. And so 7 divided by the square root of 3 will give me my shorter leg. So 7 divided by square root of 3 gives me 4.041451,884, which if you round correctly, you will get 4.0. 4.0 for your shorter leg. All right, let's go ahead and take a look now at the next number, number 25. And let's label our sides quickly here. Here's my right angle, so go straight across hypotenuse. Here's 30, go straight across, shorter leg. Here's 60, go straight across, longer leg. Now notice once again I know the longer leg and I'm trying to find the shorter leg. So we're going to use this formula right here. Where longer leg is, I'm going to substitute 18. And then I'll have left square root of 3 times SL. So let's divide one side by square root of 3. Let's divide the other side by square root of 3. These cancel, and we're left with 18 divided by square root of 3. So 18 divided by square root of 3. 10.39230485, which would round to one decimal place. 10.39 would be 10.4. Okay, I hope this is making sense. If it's not and you're just copying it, you're hurting no one but yourself. Okay, you need to make sure you're really understanding how to do this math, or contact me. Okay, all right, here's your right angle, go straight across. This is your hypotenuse. Here's 30, go straight across. This is your shorter leg. Here's 60, go straight across. This is your longer leg. So once again, we're looking for the shorter leg, and they've given us the longer leg. So we're going to use this formula right here. So for LL, I'm going to substitute 10, and for SL, I'm not going to substitute anything. Let's divide by square root of 3. Let's divide by square root of 3. These cancel, and you're left with SL. So now we're going to type into our calculators 10 divided by square root of 3. 10 divided by square root of 3, and you will get 5.773502692, and 5.77 would round correctly to 5.8. 5.8. Okay? Again, I go fast. You can always pause the video, but you can't speed it up. So let's continue to move along. Number 27. Number 27. Okay, here's the 90-degree angle, go straight across, your hypotenuse. Here's 30, go straight across, shorter leg. Here's 60, go straight across, longer leg. Now notice once again they've given us the longer leg, and they want us to find the shorter leg. So longer leg, shorter leg, this is the formula we're going to use. And where the LL is, I'm going to substitute 14 square root of 3 equals square root of 3 SL. So we're going to divide this side by the square root of 3. We're going to divide this side by the square root of 3. These cancel, leaving you with SL. And over here, notice your square root of 3's will cancel, simply leaving you with 14. That's easy enough. So no calculator is needed on this problem, okay? So the shorter leg equals, as you can see right here, the shorter leg equals 14. All right, let's move on to our last problem here, number 28. And let's see what we got. I think it's going to be very much similar to the other problems. Here's 90, go straight across. You have your hypotenuse. Here's 30, go straight across, your shorter leg. Here's 60, go straight across, your longer leg. Well, we've been given the longer leg, and we're trying to find the shorter leg, LL, SL, so we're going to use this formula right here. So where the longer leg is, I'm going to substitute 12. 12 equals square root of 3 SL divided by square root of 3 divided by square root of 3 equals SL. All right, 12 divided by square root of 3 gives you 6.92820323, and 6.92 rounds correctly to one decimal place as 6.9. Okay, and that's your shorter leg. So we've done really well. Just 6 more left. We've gone pretty fast. I don't think they were too difficult. One more section, which is numbers 30 through 35. And those directions read, find the value of each variable. Write all of your answers in radical form. So we're just going to simply be finding the sides they want us to find. So that's not too difficult to do. Let's slide this back, and here we go. First of all, let's label our sides. We have a hypotenuse here. Here's 30. This is my shorter leg. Here's 60. Here's my longer leg. Now, seeing that they give me the hypotenuse, I would recommend, let me get a drink here real quick. For these 6 problems, since we're looking for 2 sides on each one, I would recommend doing this. I would look at the side that they give you. In this case, they give you the hypotenuse, and that should help you know which formula to use. For example, right here, the shorter leg always equals the hypotenuse divided by 2. See that? So as I study these 3 formulas, I see this one here is a real big help, because if the hypotenuse here is 10, if I put a 10 right here, well, 10 divided by 2 is 5, so now I know the shorter leg is 5, okay? So, shorter leg, x equals 5. Because the hypotenuse is 10, put a 10 here, the shorter leg always equals the hypotenuse divided by 2. Now look at this. How do you find the longer leg? You take the shorter leg and multiply it by square root of 3. Let me say that again. How do you find the longer leg? You take the shorter leg and multiply it by the square root of 3. Well, isn't this the shorter leg right here? 5? So take 5 and multiply it by square root of 3. 5 square root of 3 equals the longer leg, or you could also say it equals y. There you go, guys. It's not too hard. I would look at what side they give you and then take that side and kind of springboard from there, and that will help you know what formula to use. All right. All right, here's your 90 degrees, go straight across, that's your hypotenuse. Here's 30, go straight across, this is your shorter leg. Here's 60, go straight across, this is your longer leg. Now again, they've given us the hypotenuse. Look, that's the one side they've given us. So my quick response is, look, the shorter leg is always the hypotenuse divided by 2. So if the hypotenuse is 8, divide it by 2, and now I know my shorter leg over here is 4. Now, look at your longer leg. Your longer leg is always the shorter leg times the square root of 3. Shorter leg times the square root of 3. So your shorter leg is 4, so take 4 times the square root of 3, and now you have your longer leg, or y, however you want to look at it. Okay? So once again, these formulas only work on 30, 60, 90 triangles, but they're really helpful when you have a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Okay? Now, let's again, boy, they're giving the same problems over and over, so not too difficult. Here's your 90 degrees, go straight across, this is your hypotenuse. Here's 30, go straight across, that's your shorter leg. Here's 60, go straight across, this is your longer leg. Well, once again, what side do they give you? The hypotenuse. So right away I jump over here and I say, look, the shorter leg is always the hypotenuse divided by 2. Hypotenuse divided by 2. So if your hypotenuse is 12, divided by 2, you get a 6, so you know your shorter leg is 6. Now, the longer leg, well, the longer leg is always the shorter leg times the square root of 3. Shorter leg times the square root of 3. Well, if your shorter leg is 6, then the longer leg is going to be 6 times the square root of 3, or 6 square root of 3. So there's your longer leg. Okay? Pretty simple, not too difficult. Let's move on to number 33. All right, same problem again, it looks like. Here's your 90 degrees, go straight across, that's your hypotenuse. And here's 60, go straight across, that's your longer leg. Here's 30, go straight across, this is your shorter leg. Now, I know right away that my hypotenuse is always going to be, the shorter leg is always going to be the hypotenuse divided by 2. Hypotenuse divided by 2. And so what I'm going to have is 9 divided by 2 will be 4.5 or 4.5. 9 divided by 2, so there's my shorter leg. Now look, the longer leg is always the shorter leg times the square root of 3. Shorter leg times the square root of 3. Well, my shorter leg is 4.5, so to find the longer leg, I'm going to write 4.5 square root of 3. 4.5 square root of 3. Let me get a drink here real quick. And let's continue on. Here we go. All right, 2 problems left and we're finally done. Number 34. Number 34. All right, here we go. Same problem again, which is fine. Here's 90 degrees, go straight across. This is your hypotenuse. This would be your 30, so go straight across, your shorter leg. Here's 60, go straight across, this is your longer leg. And once again, what side do they give us? The hypotenuse. So I know the shorter leg is always the hypotenuse divided by 2, or cut in half. The shorter leg is always half the hypotenuse. So if the hypotenuse is 80, then my shorter leg is going to be 40. We cut that in half. Now the longer leg is always the square root of 3 times the shorter leg. The square root of 3 times the shorter leg. That's how you find the longer leg. The square root of 3 times the shorter leg. So the longer leg, here's my shorter leg, 40. So I would simply take 40 times the square root of 3, 40 square root of 3, and that's going to be my longer leg. Okay, and then lastly, finally, number 35, we're finished with the assignment. So last one, and I hope this has been a help to you guys. All right, okay, let's label our sides first, like always. Here's my 90 degrees, go straight across. This is my hypotenuse. This is 60, go straight across. This is my longer leg. Here's 30, go straight across. That's your shorter leg. Now notice what they've given you again. They've given you the hypotenuse. Well, I know right away to find the shorter leg, I can always take the hypotenuse and divide it by 2, and that will give me the shorter leg. So my hypotenuse, what did I do here? There we go. So I know that my hypotenuse is 15, so 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. So my shorter leg here is going to be 7.5. 7.5. Now, how do you find the longer leg? Well, you take the shorter leg and multiply it by the square root of 3. Shorter leg times the square root of 3. My shorter leg is 7.5, so my longer leg would be 7.5 times the square root of 3. And that's my longer leg. Okay, so listen, you can only use these three formulas right here that I'm highlighting. You can only use those three formulas when you're dealing with a 30, 60, 90 triangle. But when you are dealing with a 30, 60, 90 triangle, these formulas right here are really, really, really helpful. Okay, I hope this homework help video has been a help to you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call or email.